Good morning, welcome to Bars and Hills. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is the weekend workout, semester 3, week 1. We are starting fresh here and we will get back into our crawls, our progressions towards our handstands. But first, a nice warm up, checking in with the body. All you need is this, a little bit of space, maybe a coffee off to the side might help.
Had one already.
Let's get started.
And we'll start with the feet transitioning towards the floor. Let's get to that ball of foot shape, then ultimately towards the toe point. Back to the balls of feet and push the hips forward to return the heel to the floor. Repeat on the other side, pulling the knee to the midline. We find the balls of feet, and then get towards those toes. Balls of feet next, and then hips through. Repeat again, but this time just finish on the balls of toes and imply a nice little knee bend, ankle bend on the other leg. Use the push through. Let's find our quick balance first here, and then back down to a flat foot. A gentle knee bend there again, and push the hip through, and one more balance. Return, heels to the floor with squeezing butt cheeks and straight knees. From here, let's go 2 knees bending towards over those toes, and push those hips through to stand tall. Prepping those knees, ankles, and hips for squats. You might be able to get lower if you allow your heels to come up. And for one more time, let's stand all the way up, nice and tall, pushing hips through, and flat feet. Absorb that landing as we bend the knees and the ankles. The heels might lift to help us get lower. And quietly, with or without the hands, get the knees to the floor, extend the hips through, and now a quick wrist warm up, including the head neck. Hinging on the hip, pushing the hips back, landing on the floor, fingers, calluses, and hands, just like in the handstand. Then light effort at the head neck, extend looking forward, and a chin tuck towards the sternum. Repeat once more, opening the hands nice and wide, extension looking forward, flexion looking at the hands. From here, we have straight elbows, and we'll do that first knuckle push-up where the fingers and calluses stay heavy, the palms lift away from the floor. Repeat again to strengthen those wrists and build that nice strong connection between your hands on the floor. And if you did that 1 or 2 more times, on that last one, push the floor away and extend the hips through. Shake it out. Then, let's do a quarter turn at those hands. Landing, fingers, calluses, and hands. Laterally bending at that neck, ear towards the shoulder. Keep the nose looking at the same fleck of rubber on the floor for us, or the same floor place for you. The head moves on the neck, and small shapes are very good here. One more to the other side, evens things up for us. And then I'll push through my right hand to move away from Lauren, and then I'll push away from Lauren to move back towards. Push one way, go the other. Push down to grow up, just like that. And a little bit of a let's do one more hand movement here on those fists or knuckles. On peace sign digit, pack the shoulders low, gently flex over the wrist. And that's flexion on the wrist as much as a flexibility skill, the stretch in the knuckles to return to stack. Repeat on the other. Flex over, enjoy a nice little stretch, and push down and use those wrist extensors to back to the stacked position. Repeating one more time, flexion over, and then through, and final one on the other side. Lauren has those nice straight elbows, push into the ground to return, and push through. Do we have time for one more?
Yes, one more.
All right, if I have one more exercise here, gently assemble yourself in a lunging position with a single leg out front. Hike and tip and tuck and find that nice level position for you. And then with an arm at the side, consistent with the leg that's in the back, elevate the shoulder as a shrug. Pull the armpit low and keeping the arm straight, reach it towards your safe overhead. Once you're at your overhead, Lauren's awesome overhead in line with the ear. Mine just a little bit shy of that. Take your time and circle in the shoulder here as we turn down the thumb. Keep the elbow straight. Adductor, bring that arm towards the midline in the back. And now retract the shoulder blade as you bring the arm back towards your standing leg hip. Then pull the armpit low, staying nice and square across the hips and the body here as you return to extension of the shoulder back. Turn the palm up to the ceiling and pull down on the armpit to bring the arm towards overhead, and light effort, return it to the side. What we do on one side, we like to do on the other, so we can hike and pull down and tip and tuck, and just find a nice strong position for that lunge. And with the arm to the side, 1 repetition of an elevated shoulder shrug. For right now, pull that armpit low and straighten the arm towards your overhead. Then circle in that shoulder, keeping the elbow straight. The thumb or the palm will end up turning down. And when we finish, we'll pull the shoulder blade back and the pinky side of the hand will face forward. At the shoulder blade, depress or pull down and extend like Lauren there. And then turn in the shoulder, keeping square and bringing that armpit low to bring the arm high. And gently finish through the front positions again. And shakes and wiggles. And I'm not sure what Lauren has up for us, but let's see.
Oh, my turn. All right, let's come down to the floor and come into our first plank right away. Let's get a little tension going here. So our hands are gripping the floor. We'll step out into that plank position, either from your knees or from your toes. And let's just start to lightly increase the tension volume. So our hands are gripping. Our shoulders are pulled down. Our butt cheeks are squeezed. Our abs are braced. Our legs are nice and tight. We're pulling the floor together underneath of us, breathing and bracing. And you're so tight like a tree trunk, I could come and push you over and you wouldn't move. And then knees land. Push the floor away. Whoa, give that a little shake out. Good. Let's reverse this, sitting on our bottoms with our fingers facing backwards and our toes pointed away from us. We'll shrug our shoulders up, and then we'll push the floor down, lifting up the chest and locking into the lats. Now let's just start by just hovering the hips off the floor. With the hips hovered here, could we scoop the pelvis under, tucking, and then tip the tailbone towards the wall behind you. And one more time, scoop the hips under, and then tip the tailbone back. And then let's just place our hands down. Give a little break off our hands while we take our legs out in front of us. With our legs out front of us, we're sitting up nice and tall in that cow position in our hips, so the tip of the tailbone to the back wall. And sometimes I just like to drive my heels away, pulling my feet towards me and my femurs reaching long. And right now I feel those hamstrings, and I'm just trying to then maybe add a little bit of a hinge, and that's enough as I drive my heels away, reach my hamstrings long, lightly hinge forward, and then sit up tall, and then relax. Let's take our feet to the pointed feet. We'll gather up some tension without hinging forward. We'll stay up tall, and we'll try to gently lift a leg, and hold, and place it down. And repeat on the other leg. Think about pulling the leg in to lift. One more time each side. In to lift the leg up, and land, and in to lift the leg up, and land. We'll bend those knees, place them back on the floor, fingers face backwards again. We're going to add on. So shoulders shrug, and then they pull down, pushing the floor away, hips lift. This time, let's start to scoop the hips, lifting up towards our tabletop position here. In our tabletop position, our hips are nice extended, our cheeks are squeezed. Now starting at the pelvis again, start reaching it to the wall behind us. Let's try to keep the hips hovered off the floor, so push down to go up in the shoulders. And one more time, scoop the hips back up, extending up towards that bridge or tabletop position here. And then as we tuck the hips, we're going to try to go a little bit further this time, where our hips start to come all the way back behind us. I personally like to rotate my hands. We're going to reach our hips behind, try to hold that L-sit, and then lift back through and land softly on the floor.
Nice. Some old school favorites in there. Nothing easy, everything's simple, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy. If I could take it over for one quick rep, I want to roll just a little bit. So let's get on to our knees and then ultimately on the hands, those all fours. Take a single hand and turn it up at the hip. Bend the elbow that the hand is on the floor and look through that little window and enjoy a nice little stretch to that upper back T-spine. Then push through the hand, assemble the hands nice and wide again, and alternate on the other side. Palm turns up, elbow bends. Gently look for that nice little rotation, reach through, and then back to two hands. Continue to do that series of repetitions, or could we add the front roll?
Get on your shoulder too.
On the shoulder. So here, I'll go from the shoulder on one side towards the hip on the other, and use the floor with the arms to help yourself, push yourself around there. So it's nice and quiet. We could do the same thing back, but until we do that, let's try a couple more repetitions in the front direction. So a hand turns up at the hip, look through that window, and again, going from one shoulder towards the opposite hip. Hello.
Hey.
And back and again. Implying those nice little rolling tasks can be a fun way to get familiar with those bailing-like movements in the handstand, and bailing's an okay thing. Bailing happens, and just making sure that your body's nice and supple to handle everything, but also stiff like those planks.
That's right. Let's get back to our crawling now. So from that plank position, we're going to get up into it.
Plank, that's
yes. And then we're going to start inchworming ourselves together. So from this plank position, shoulders pulled down, breathe, brace, squeeze everything tight. Now start just like we did in that other exercise, lifting the tailbone of the pelvis towards the ceiling. Hands stay planted, feet walk towards hands. Get as close as you can. Then peel through the hands and walk them forward. Back out into a plank position. Hold, tight, tight, tight. Again, pulling the floor together underneath you. Then scoop, lifting the hips. Feet walk towards hands. Try to keep the hands heavy on the floor. And repeat again. Walking forward, breathing as you go, but then holding that plank tension, but still breathing underneath. And last one, hips lift, feet walk to hands. We'll get as tight together as we can. And then we'll tuck our chin, push the floor away, engage our core on the front, back of the spine as we roll ourselves back up to standing. Whew, how does it feel after that floor warm up?
Oh, it feels good. It feels good. Body felt pretty good to start the day, and light movements I know help. Laura knows they help, and if you think they help, hit like and subscribe and share. And until then, let's work on the squats. Let's revisit an all-time favorite here with our movement clock, where we'd pull up a single leg to the ankle, point to the front, and landing toe ball heel. Pull yourself forward, and Lauren will push forward to move away to the back. Now, knee front, knee side, and same thing to that diagonal, the 10 or the 2 position on the clock, and then push to the bent foot, return together. Knee front, open to the side, point, toe ball heel, and a little Saturday morning fever here, little hip hikes, John Travolta style, push through. Now open that knee to the back, look forward, and then land to that back corner, 8 o'clock or 4, and then push through the bent leg to return, and drag a leg to the back, straighten it, bend it, and apply that scissor-like tension in our squat. That back one's one of the more tricky ones to figure out. Pull the ankle on the other side to the front, toe ball heel, pulling and pushing together. Knee front, knee diagonal, point. Hello? Oh, trying to be too fancy there, I'm sorry. And then knee front, knee side. In this position, little hip hikes. Keep finding those level positions for hips and push. And then open to that back corner and land, 8 or 4, and push. And again, a toe drag to the back, a straight leg, and then let's replicate Lauren's scissor-like squat there, and then push together, shake. And I'm not sure, Lauren, what zoo exhibit or what are we doing next?
Next, we're going to continue in that same plane we were working on, but get up to that 3-point position. So let's use our hinge to get back to that plank. Hip hinge, walk yourself forward in that plank hold. Now, we're going to lift the hips, but flick the floor away with one leg. So hips lift, shoulders square up, reach the leg long, breathe, and then pull back through to your plank, tight, tight, tight position. Lift the other foot, kicking it towards the ceiling, squaring up the hips, breathing, and then pulling back through that plank one more time on each side. As we're in this position, we're like thinking about our handstand, so our elbows are straight, our shoulders are shrugged, and our hips are square. Back to that plank. One more time. Lift, square up, breathe, hands stay tight. Pull back to the plank just to hold for 3, 2, and then softly land on the floor. Let's have a seat again, and let's add in a little extra core. So we'll come back to that seated position where we did those legs lift offs, and let's start with those right away and then add on. So right now we have 2 straight legs in front of us with our toes pointed and a light grip on the floor. Next, we'll think about pulling a straight leg in to lift it up, hold, and land. Other leg, lift it up, hold, and land. Now, that was singles. Could we try a round of 2 legs at once? So point both legs, pull them in, lift them up. 3, 2, land. Repeat again. Lift, hold. 3, 2, land. One more time. 3, 2, land. Finish with a single again. Single and down, and single and down.
How do you do it? All of that and talking at the same time.
Yeah.
Again, simple, but maybe not easy.
Stand yourself up, no hands.
Love that game. And now that we're back up, we warmed up those squats in that forward-facing position. Let's take a single leg to the front, do one of those turnout exercises we practice at the bar, and then heel underneath in the turnout. Same thing then, other side. So probably a very narrow stance for your squat. Let's try it anyway. Pull yourself down, create that nice diamond shape between the knees and the hips and the feet, and push yourself back up to tall. Repeating again, feel a pull effort down, flat feet for right now, and push your hips through. For the final one, get as low as you can on those flat feet, and then as you lift up, you might be able to get lower, push those ankle bones forward, then connect the heels and finish pushing the hips through. From there, open up to that second position or a wider stance squat, and same effort as we pull ourselves down to sit low and squat, and a hip extension, push through. One more on flat feet, pull yourself low, push through, and then a flat foot to as low as you can. And then from here, lift a single leg for 3, 2, and 1, and then lift the other leg for 3, 2, and 1, and maybe get lower and do the same thing again. Lift 3, 2, 1, and lift 3, 2, 1, and then find that oomph, push forward together and shake.
Stretchy. A little bit. All right, we're going to add a little air time into our crawl here today. We just warmed up that squat, so let's add that in. We'll stand with some space on either side of us, and we're going to do our little monkey activity. So we'll pull ourselves down into our squat. This can be as small as you want or as big as you want. Let's start small. Hand, hand, foot, foot. Hand, hand, lift the feet, a foot, foot. Right now, we're just trying to get just off the floor, maybe a little bit more this time. And one more time in this direction, always coming back to that squat position. As we make our way back, progress the height of your air time. Hand, hand, foot, foot. Hand, hand, foot, foot. And last time, hand, hand, foot, foot. End up in your squat, push down and away, and press to tall.
Pressing to tall.
Nice.
Nice. How are you feeling? How are those hands? The crawls, the planks, the wrist warm-ups, they all aim to increase that awareness and strength through the arms and the core to make sure you're ready for those next movements. That might be the handstand coming up soon. Until we get there, let's just continue to work on that squat, but this time on a single leg. Pull up a single leg to the ankle. And for 2 repetitions here, nice and easy, do your knee over toe, and now press your hip forward over the knee, and then cramp up on that quadricep or knee. Repeat again as we pull ourselves low, breathe, and extend through. For an additional challenge, could we slowly find those balls of feet or those demi points by lifting a heel and returning with control. 2 repetitions then on the other side. If we let this hip drop, it probably shoots our hip on the other side. So lift the hip up, keep it nice and level, and push your hip through to tall. Repeating again. Take your time coming down, find those wibble wobble balances, and push your hip through. And when your knee is straight, keep pressing the hips or the glutes over the foot to find that releve balance. Hold, breathe, and return with control. Nice. Light reps. High integrity. What's next?
Well, should we get into some kick-ups today?
I think so.
Okay. So let's just introduce them with the babiest of air today for one last round. We'll start today introducing the tripod entry. So that's where our hands are on the floor and we have 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. We'll go in this I go, you go technique. So we get a little break in between 2 sets here. With your hands open and your elbows straight, your shoulders pushing away. And then all we're doing is trying to get a little bit of air time, even smaller if you want. Just a little baby off the floor. Start to feel comfortable with your head getting towards upside down, some weight in your arms for a millisecond or 4. Take your time, and then you can slowly progress to more overhead. As you go here, it is advised that you practice taking off of both legs. So take your time, practice off both legs. Start super small.
Super small and not too many. I did about 6 repetitions there, or 3 on each side. And again, build the confidence, build the awareness to ultimately get from baby air towards infant air, towards, you got it. We can go all the way up towards master, the air.
Air Jordan.
Air Jordan. Nice.
Air Lauren. Okay, let's do that again. Kick-ups again from that tripod entry.
We do a video of that.
Start taking off where you started last time. So maybe you started a little bit more than that first round and you add a little bit of air here, but always come down safely. Soft landing. Soft landing. Again, you're either alternating legs or you're thinking about taking off that second leg. You're gripping the floor, your elbows are straight, your shoulders are stacked. Breathing. Think of that plank tension as you're doing this. One more round.
Plank tension includes belly in, and initially it's a lot of to get up. But once you're there, we can somewhat relax and let gravity help us. Toes, knees, hips, shoulders, and hands approaching that straight line that I was just talking about there. It might be a second or it might be even towards 10, but take your time, scissor those legs, find fun variations, and keep improving your strength upside down.
Whew.
Quick break off those hands. One more to go here, and one more time on that squat as well. Lauren had us lift those legs out front, perhaps prepping ourselves for this pistol squat variation here. So pull up to the ankle, and on a single leg, descend. Then with the leg that's off the floor, point it out front, lift it higher in your imagination, and then bend it, and then push that hip all the way through. Repeating again, slight twist, knee over toe, leg out front, hold it, and leave it there this time as you stand tall. Return it underneath and return it to the floor. Maybe a shake, a wiggle, find your favorite spot on the floor, and repeat. Knee over toe, letting the other hip help keep yourself nice and square in center, and then a straight leg. Bend that leg and push your hip through. Repeating one more time. Do the same thing or that easier thing. The hardest thing here for today will be the straight leg. Lift it higher, higher. Push the hip through. Bend the knee. Return nice and tall. Handstand variation number 2.
Oh, now we'll practice that step-in entry. So we want you to try both and figure out which one you like better. But it's always a fun activity to practice both. So right now in the step-in entry, we have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, arms overhead, and in that hollow position. Start again with just a little bit of space between you and the floor. So the feet are just leaving the floor. The hands land as we did in our warm-up, fingers, callus, palm. To leave the floor, you're going to think about pushing the floor away to come back up to standing. The babiest of air to your safe, bigger air. If you leave that trailing leg behind you, it'll always pull you back to where you got it. And remember to alternate the takeoff leg. Last one or so, we want to hear this, or we don't want to hear this because it's so quiet on the landing, both on the hands and then back to the feet.
Safe and quiet on those landings means you're getting stronger and we're conserving energy as well. You can see Lauren absorb that floor, fingers, callus, hand, and also push that floor away, flicking of the wrist. Taking time, setting it up just right, and that performance enhancing tip t-shirt tucked in might just be the secret you're looking for. But those other tips, like gorgeous pointed toes there, can also help achieve our freestanding handstand.
One more time of that kick and step in entry for Ian here. So again, just practicing what you built on the last time. Maybe you got a little more confidence getting towards upside down. You had a little more push in your step to get there, but you were able to come back to standing. Let's try to keep this in the forward, backward plane here versus falling out from one side to the other. Of course, that's a potential. But again, if you leave that trailing leg behind you, it'll always pull you back to standing. So if you're nervous, that's a great thing to do. Soft landing on hands, light abs, breathing throughout.
Does the checklist ever end? Not really. But you can add one thing and then add that next level of difficulty, or you could regress to make things a little bit more simple. Oh, do it. Hold it. Looking so good on that. Looking so good. So we have that hollow hold, those pointed toes. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Finish when you're still fresh. If you feel you could do one or two more, that might be a good place to also say, hey, I'll do that next set. Well, not a threat. Sounds a little bit sinister with the pistol squat nature here. But Lauren, can we do a little pistol squat 1-on-1?
Yes.
All right.
What does that mean? Do it right now?
Do it right now. Can you do your pistol squat? If not, stick with us for the next 7 weeks, 8 weeks, including today, as we continue to work on this move here. Follow along with a leg out front. A big breath in and pull yourself to your safe low and stand up, finishing tall and underneath. I know I did my stronger leg first, but that just means that this one is strong. Needs a little more practice. Here we go. Take your time. Get nice and low. And up and down. Nice job. Oh,
Turkey.
the turkey. I'm not sure if there's anything else, Lauren. What about you?
I think we should just finish with 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 seconds of fun today. So for the last 30 seconds, you try something we did today. Whether that's holding a plank, doing your L sit that we did, or up to the bridge, or going into that 3-point position, or your kick-ups. 30 seconds, or your pistol squats. That's a lot of pistol squats.
A lot of pistol squats.
But let's get started with 30 seconds of fun in 5 seconds, and we'll see what happens in 3-ish, 2, when you're ready.
I think that was a tie, and that was so close to 40 seconds.
Yeah, it was over 30.
Awesome. Shake things out.
I don't have the ability to turn my head to look at the clock while upside
next
down.
Level.
That's
next level.
Soleil.
Maybe we'll have to, maybe we'll have to go to the circus and check that out, ask the pros. We very much appreciate being able to share our passion for our bodyweight skills on this day being Saturday, our kettlebell skills on Tuesday, and our ballet influenced efforts on Thursday. So join us again next week for 3 live classes, 30 minutes length for each. And
until next time, like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out our newsletter page, our website page to sign up for our bi-weekly newsletter. And remember to like and subscribe again. Take care.
Stay strong.
And let's train soon.
And if you're in Guelph, it's our 10th year anniversary today. Come on by.
Party.
Woo. Bye.
Bye.